What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with an update from the 7 times Mr. Olympia, Heath, one of the most dominant Miss Olympias of all time. And if we rank the greatest physiques in the history of this sport, who all won that Mr. Olympia standout, Heath will either be number 1 or number 2 because only one man is beating him, and that is the GOAT, Ronnie Coleman. So Heath has been retired for more than 4 years now. But still, look at those arms. So there is a reason the man is called a gift. Because the thing is, you won't be able to see those fibers, that kind of muscle quality that Phil has even now on majority of the guys who competed at this past Miss Olympia. And that isn't talking down on the current guys. Just the fact that that is how great Heath was. So Heath was in a league of his own, with one of the greatest and the most complete backs of all time. So Phil has been staying very lean for a while now. So he is down more than 30 plus pounds compared to the times when he used to compete. I think Phil started to get heavier from 2017 onwards, because that was the year Big Romy was seen as the biggest threat to Heath. And I'm gonna say it one more time. Chasing size, that mostly ruins physiques. Just ask Heath to pick his all-time favorite, the best he thought he ever looked on the stage. And he's gonna go with either 2011 or 2013. Now, I think the fans will definitely pick 2011. And not just as Heath's best, but one of the greatest physiques of all time. So although Heath is down 30 plus pounds, but still, he's maintaining some good amount of size. I think he should just stay lean at this body weight, as the man looks very healthy and very athletic as well. Is Samson Dao going to be the best Miss Olympia since 2018, and strictly speaking, in terms of being the biggest ambassador of the sport and doing whatever he can to promote the sport of bodybuilding? Now we are taking 2018 as the reference point here, because we have had 6 different Miss Olympia champions since that year, and the way Samson has been doing these tours, he is gonna make a very solid case for being the most approachable Miss Olympia in the recent past, because the man just got back from China. And now he is going to travel his own country, UK, with that standout.
That's what Mr. Yeah, exactly. That's what Mr. Olympia should be. You're meant to be an ambassador for a sport, bringing the world together. And if you just sit in your, in your room and don't do nothing about it, then you're not really doing a great job, are you?
So Samson Dao has got a lot of traveling to do this year and next year as well. Plus, he is going to be chasing that Arnold Classic title as well, which is happening in March. And is there anything else that bodybuilding fans can expect from the champion himself? I think you guys will agree. All of us want to see the best physique on the planet, more than once per year on the stage. And Samson Dao promised to do that. Derek Lansford also did a superb job, being a great ambassador of the sport. But Samson Dao is really gonna make a case for himself as the best Miss Olympia in terms of the business perspective, especially in the recent past. Now that being said, at the end of the day, it is a physique contest, and the Olympia this year proved that, because we saw Derek dropping down to 3rd. But at the same time, you cannot deny, it is a business as well. Next up, we have a 3 weeks post-Olympia physique update of Mike Sommerfeld, the man who just placed 2nd behind Chris Bumstead at this year's Classic Physique Miss Olympia. The only guy in the history to split points against a guy like Sebum since 2020, which is a big deal by the way, because this was one of Sebum's better looks, and to push a dominating champion like Chris Bumstead, that has really made Mike Sommerfeld the frontrunner to win the Olympia title next year. And I'm gonna say rightfully so. So Mike is one of those guys who doesn't like to take time off. So different pros have different perspectives on taking time off from gear, from the PEDs. But Mike belongs to that school of thought that believes if he takes time off, he is only gonna crash his hormones, because there is just no way he can restore his natural test levels in just a few weeks' time. But obviously at the same time, he tapers down the dosage, and this allows him to make some tremendous progress from one season to the next one. And that is why I think he is gonna be even more complete for the Olympia 2025. So in this 3 weeks post-Olympia update, the man looks absolutely amazing. He was certainly not ready to be the champion this year, But his mindset is gonna be different next year, as he now knows that everyone in classic physique, they're gonna be chasing him next year. So Mike was able to put on 12 pounds of solid muscle in 1 year, from 2023 to 2024. And if we look at his off-season pictures from this year, these numbers truly make sense, because at one point it seemed like he's going for the men's open bodybuilding. So I don't think he can put on any more muscle considering his weight cap. But if he peaks, just like 2024, he is gonna be extremely dangerous and really hard to beat. Next up, we have an off-season physique update from Ross Patrick, the California Pro Champion from last year, where he was able to beat guys like Tony Burton and Sergio Oliva Jr. So Ross also took a very tough and a very smart decision of taking the entire 2024 off altogether, not only just to grow his physique, but also to grow his business. And that caption under his latest physique update, that is a harsh truth, not just in bodybuilding, but in any other professional sport as well, as injuries are a part of it. So Ross 100% deserved to win Cali Pro. I mean, the man was so ripped, front to back, top to bottom, that he made all of those guys in the first call out look kinda soft, and also a bit watery standing next to him. Now Ross himself knows more than anyone what he needs to work on. He probably has some of the biggest legs in the men's open bodybuilding at the moment, but his upper body is still far behind. Now his balance does look better in his recent front double biceps, but again, for a guy who has such incredible quads, he will always be working on making his symmetry better. The man is always gonna be bottom heavy, so no show has been announced up until now by Ross, but he is definitely jumping back on the stage in 2025, make a run for his second Olympia qualification. Next up is the update from Good Vito. So 2025 is the year Vito is most probably gonna win his first pro show and earn his Olympia qualification, because this has been a very long off season for Good Vito so far, and we have been seeing him lifting some monstrous amount of weights throughout this off season. And the last time we saw him on the stage, that was back in April at Detroit Pro, and the man has been trying to grow ever since. So Vito had a very impressive rookie year as a pro in 2024. He got a chance to stand next to guys like Rafael Brandao and Antonio Burton at this year's Arnold Brazil, and both of these guys, they are top 10 Olympians. And let's not forget, he compared so damn well against a guy like Martin Fitzwater, who can easily be considered the breakout star of the year. In fact, Good Vito was able to beat Martin in certain shots, like the front double biceps, the abs and thigh, and the most muscular. And Martin made tons of improvements from Detroit Pro to the Olympia this year, but we can also expect to see some incredible improvements from Good Vito the next time he steps on stage, sometime next year. So the one thing that Good Vito should do is sticking to his coach, Chris Aceto, and he for sure is gonna be on the Olympia stage in 2025. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.